I'm just saying that.
Woohoo! It's Wednesday, and I'm at the Edinburgh Fringe, and this guy is with the Rubbish Shakespeare Company. It's a show called Romeo and Juliet, and it's one of thousands of shows at the Fringe. The Fringe is super cool because it's been around for about 75 years, and its only goal is to help anyone with a story and a venue to share it. That is amazing! It's so wide and so open, and they're about sharing the arts, and they have 3 goals. 1, to support people in sharing their art. 2, to tell everyone about it. And 3, to then share that with the world. Now this is a really special place for creativity, and I actually am going to share an interview that I had with a guy named Jonah who's in an improv troupe. But there are thousands and thousands of artists in this community, and I wanted to talk to people about what fuels their creativity when they work with other people and what makes it fizzle it out. Because you guys in corporate America, you know what it feels like when you're working with people on your team and it just jives. You know what it feels like when it's just not working. This is critical to teams in high-performing places, whether it's in the arts or in companies. And the Fringe is just loaded with inspiration. I'm here with my friend Jonah, my new friend Jonah. We're here in Edinburgh, and he is a Fringe artist, and he's with a group called, or show called Bumper Blighton. And this is a really cool improv show that I hope to see while we're here about children's books. The author's name is
Enid Blyton.
I was asking Jonah what gives him fuel in his creative process and what fizzles him out when he's working with others. Now you're in how big is your group?
Well, there are 11 of us in the company, but we have usually about 6 on stage as well.
Okay.
So all really super experienced improvisers. We've trained for years and years and years in the States and back here in the UK.
And Jonah's also a teacher in London of improvisation, so this is even better. So Jonah, tell us what fuels your creativity as it relates to groups and what fizzles it out.
Alright, so the thing that kind of gets me out of bed every morning is improvisation, and the thing that really fuels me within that is the moment of spontaneous creation and play when you're with a partner who you trust so much, an on-stage partner, let's say, that you don't need to worry about what you're doing. All you need to concern yourself is trying to make them look the best they can do. There's a famous improvisation tutor called Keith Johnson, one of the original guys, and he has a quote which I love, which is, your only job on stage is to make everybody else look amazing. And to be like more direct about the question of what fuels me to do this is sharing a moment of connection with somebody, and sharing through the sort of magic of improv, the ability to create a story on the fly, and to create live theatre like that, and to move the audience and to make them laugh, and all of those great things.
I'm going to jump in on that before he talks about Fizzle, because that is amazing. Imagine in corporate America if your job was to make everyone on your team look amazing.
Yeah. I work in a lot of corporate scenarios teaching improv as well, and I always use the example of, well, in improv there's a phrase called yes and.
We use it a lot.
We know yes and, of course. And I always say, well, we all know these people at work. They we might be in a team meeting, and probably the CEO, let's face it, thinks they're super yes Andy. Oh yeah, let me hear your ideas. Yeah. And they want to hear the ideas, but they're not actually interested in following through on those and trusting in the creativity, flexibility of their team. And say, oh yeah, great idea, Brian, but I think what we're going to, budget concerns, or we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And actually they're a yes but person. So they'll say yes, it's kind of giving lip service to your idea, actually kind of shutting it down. And what I try to do when I train people, both actors, non-actors, people that work in the world of business, is training that instinct to really listen to what the other person is saying, not just responding to what you think they're saying or what you want them to say. We've all been in the situation where somebody's on autopilot and they complete your sentences, and you're like, dude, no, that is not where I was going, and that just shows that they weren't truly listening and they're not fully engaged in you. So that's kind of what we train, is really good listening. Listening as if like you're a thief in the middle of the night in somebody's house, although I don't condone theft.
So imagine if you were present with what your colleagues are saying. Imagine if your job was to make them look good and to help their idea live. We talk about this all the time at Bamboo. We want to help big ideas live. Now, how do people create fizzle? How do they shut people down in their idea creation? How do you see this happen on your team, in your improv, and how do you see it happen even in your corporate training? How does it fizzle out?
I mean, as soon as you start trying to think about how you could be in improv, for example, in improv comedy, funny, clever, or interesting, you will fail at all of those things. But the second you trust in your own instincts and you trust in your partner and your colleagues, you are able to create something together, and that shared moment of mutual creation is total magic. And that's why audiences are flocking more and more to improv comedy these days, and why it's used so much as a corporate training tool as well.
Here's an example of how you go on a journey you don't know where you're going. I interviewed Jonah thinking I was going to get a little 30-second blip. I find out that he's a teacher of improvisation in London. He's in this high-performing team here at the Fringe, and I don't need to really even do anything else because he's done it for us. This is Woohoo Wednesday in its finality. This is all we need to do.